Well, welcome, friends. You notice we're starting a video here and we're not on approach. Yes, we're doing a full flight video. We're still in Tallahassee, KTLH, headed to Savannah, Georgia, Hilton Head, Savannah Airport, landing on the ILS runway 10. So, it's a 192 mile flight, very quick. So without further ado, let's get up on the flight deck. Got a couple hours free this afternoon, and then I have to give a speech tonight for work to an event, so I figured I'd do this to relax before I head off to my speech later this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. All right, Zoom type manual. Okay, and let's get started with startup procedures and all the annoyances that we've come to live with in terms of our alarms and so
delivery,
forth.
Cessna November 34 Bravo Whiskey IFR to Savannah, ready to copy.
Cessna November 34 Bravo Whiskey is cleared to Savannah Airport as filed.
Altitude.
Takeoff runway 18 climb and maintain 11,000 feet.
Okay, flying.
Departure frequency is 128.625 squawk.
We're flying at flight level 250 on this flight.
Cessna November 34 Bravo Whiskey cleared to Savannah Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 18 climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 128.625 squawk 7257.
EPU is at 100%.
Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey, readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.9er when ready to taxi. Good day.
Set our climb out at 190.
Ground Cessna November 34 Bravo Whiskey requesting
Nav source
pushback.
GPS.
Cessna November
Release the parking brake.
3 Bravo Whiskey, pushback request accepted.
Open the fuel valve. Speed bugs DR 136. VY 190. VAP 144. And all on. PFD settings, wind option 2. No wind data. Okay. Taking off to the south on this flight. I wish I could disable that chime, but I can't until they fix that bug. Take a look here at our N2%, coming up now nicely to 60.
Ground Cessna November 34 Bravo
Now we'll
Whiskey
start our left
requesting
engine.
the end of pushback.
Cessna November 3 Bravo Whiskey request to end pushback received.
You see that N2% coming up. Calibrate our altimeter, 29083. Just two waypoints on this flight, Tilly and Sovi. I'll show them to you while we wait for that engine. Go ahead, populate the route. There it is.
Ground Cessna November 34 Bravo Whiskey with India ready to taxi IFR.
Well, I'm almost ready.
Cessna November 3 Bravo Whiskey taxi to and hold short of runway 18.
I wish those waypoints were visible even farther out. Well, there's Sovi and there's Tilly, so those are the two waypoints on our approach course into ILS runway 10. Haven't done an ILS in a while, and certainly have not done an ILS. Okay, the engines are almost good to go. Haven't done an ILS since SU6. So, hey, it's already populated the... Is that just a coincidence that it's got the frequency for the runway in question already there? How nice. All right, anyway. Okay, engines are up, good, and going. So let's do the same. Notch flaps. APUs off. Taxi light on. Bring our yoke back. And let's look outside. Okay, obviously going to taxi to make a right turn. Because if we try to make a left turn, we're going to hit a building. Let's go. Yeah, I've wanted to fly the last couple of days since we got to Tallahassee, but I get home from work. I'm busy at work. I get home, normal time, near dinner time. And that happens to be the case this week and next. And it's like 8 o'clock at night on the East Coast, and I don't always want to do a night flight. So local time here in Tallahassee is 4:55 p.m. 1:55 here on the West Coast. Hopefully we don't get any CTDs or anything. We have a nice successful flight to Savannah Hilton Head. Weather here in Tallahassee is pretty pleasant. 77 degrees and partly cloudy. As for the weather in Savannah, 72 degrees and sunny. So really nice weather. The winds are light and variable. So when you've got light and variable winds and you have the opportunity to land on a ILS runway, you take it. But this will be a kind of a reveal to see if the ILS is working post SU6, since I haven't had an ILS approach yet. Okay. Let's get back inside. Zoom in on the MFD. I guess we could turn left here or at the next one, but they want us turning left here, so we will at Bravo, according to that taxi sign.
Approaching runway 18.
Tower Cessna November.
Make sure nobody's coming.
3 Bravo Whiskey ready for departure runway 18 IFR to Savannah.
Cessna November 3, 43
Landing lights on.
altimeter 29.83 with com.
Taxi lights are
Cleared for
off.
takeoff runway
Pulse is on. Tail flood. Clear for takeoff. 18, says the Roski. And confirm our altimeter 2983. So that's good. We'll just get to our timer page now. Let's go. Off we go to Savannah, Hilton Head, South Carolina. I'm sorry, Georgia. I'm sorry, I'm going to get in big trouble by saying Savannah's in South Carolina. And remember, this is part of our 50-state contiguous border tour, so we can only, that's the limitation. We fly to a state that shares a border with the state we're in. Georgia obviously does share a border with Florida. All right, out on the runway now. Active runway. Lined up. We'll zoom out on the MFD. We'll make a left turn right after takeoff. And we'll start our timer. I'm going to keep it in HDG mode though for now. I don't want to be making a left turn over the airport. Let's go. And be prepared for the annoying alarm, the ITT alarm, which will happen. Let's go. There it is. Disregard that. 80 knots. 120. 136. Up we go. Little noise abatement. Positive brake gear up. Autopilot's engaged. Auto throttle's engaged.
Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey, contact departure on 128.625. Good day.
Maintain this climb out rate.
128.625 Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey.
Landing lights off.
Departure Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey is at
Flaps.
1,100 feet, climbing 11,000 feet. Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey, departure altimeter 29.3.
That looks pretty.
Continue as planned.
Okay, now let's start our left turn. Just to give you an idea of how I handle that. Use this knob to turn us left so that this little bug is left of the magenta diamond, or magenta line. That way you'll know you're headed towards your track line. Okay. Beautiful takeoff so far. Looks fantastic. Hopefully she remains stable. We just took off from that runway right there. Flew this way. Zoom out on the MFD even more so we can see our track line. There it is. You can see how now we're headed towards it. We could make that turn even more pronounced so that we head towards it more sharply, more quickly. Since we're going kind of slow, we'll increase our climb rate to 3,000 feet per minute and set our new speed at 200. Probably going to get that ITT alarm again for a minute. No. What do you know? Now, the one thing to keep in mind as you approach this magenta line, and see this CDI's course deviation indicator indicating that the track that we want to, that we want to be on, it's actually giving us deviation number of how far off that track line we are, XTK, minus 2.19 nautical miles. This will start to drift over, and once it lines up, that's when you know that you're on course. But it's easy to forget when you're in HDG mode. And if we don't switch to nav mode over here, as we close in on this magenta line, we'll just fly right past it and stay in HDG mode. So do want to stay on top of that. We'll increase our speed down up to 230. There's the ITT alarm. Go ahead and switch to the nav mode now. That'll start a nice gentle turn to the right.
Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey is passing 8,100 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey Jacksonville Center.
It's interesting. My ForeFlight app is showing
Continue as planned.
some scattered rain in the area of Tallahassee, but obviously we're not seeing any. I wonder if the weather... I don't even see any clouds. I wonder if the weather engine is down. Yeah, because my phone tells me that Tallahassee right now is partly cloudy and 77 degrees, so can't explain that. Might have some weather issues. Passing 10,000 feet now, we'll set 250. Coming up to our altitude we were instructed to climb to, 11,000 feet. Climb and maintain 210, Cessna Whiskey.
Climb and maintain flight level 210 Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
So we got 280 set as our knots indicated. I mean, there's not a cloud in the sky, so the weather data might be down. But it hasn't been. It's been working so far for me. It'll be hard to know if it's down when we get to Savannah, when the weather out in Savannah is 75 degrees and clear. But let's not jump to conclusions. At this point, I remain steadfast in my fervent hope and desire that, at the very least, it remains stable. Climbing at 3,000 feet per minute, and we're at 13,000 feet going up to 25,000 feet, so got another 12,000 feet to go. Should be about 4 minutes before we get to cruise.
Envoy 4223, contact Jacksonville Center on 133.7. Good day.
Closing in on that transition altitude as we get up closer to 18,000. We'll change our altimeter to 29902. Weather is working because we're getting winds aloft, 17 knots from the west-southwest. Can't explain the absence of clouds, though. Beautiful day.
FedEx 303 traffic is 10 o'clock, 4 miles, and flight level 380 generic. Report them in sight. Generic 106 traffic is o'clock 3 miles at flight level 350.
It's at 300.
Report them in sight.
See what we can get away with.
FedEx 303 traffic in sight.
Transition altitude.
Nice steady climb rate.
06 traffic in sight.
3,000 feet per minute. Airspeed looks good. Love not having the wobble. That is a big, big plus.
FedEx 303 traffic is 11 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 320 generic.
As we get higher, sometimes you have to slow or reduce your climb rate. Struggles a little bit more to climb. I'm going to anticipate the instruction to go to 250 just to expedite our climb. They should chime in at about 21.8, or excuse me, 20,800 feet. Let's see. And I'll explain the ITT alarm here in a second. That's shallow. Come on, give me the climb instruction. Up to 250, so that's the whiskey.
Climb and maintain flight level 250.
So anyway, you see how the ITT alarm was going? We were climbing at 3,000 feet per minute. Now we're climbing at 2,000 feet per minute. So by not demanding as much from the aircraft, our climb profile, it reduced strain on the engines and correspondingly reduced the ITT temperature. So we learn to deal with some of the issues that present themselves. 22,500 feet up to 25,000, 2,000 feet per minute, so we're about 65, 70 seconds from leveling off. Up to 25,000 feet in about 11 minutes. Not bad. Busy skies. Wowzers. Just wonder where the clouds are. 33.7 at Jack Center, Cessna 3 Whiskey. Good day.
133.7 for Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey.
Jacksonville Center, Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey at 240, climbing 250.
Is at flight level 240, climbing flight level 250. Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey, Jacksonville Center.
All right, let's get this thing going. What do you say? Take it up to 320. Now that we're leveled off, just about leveled off. At this altitude, 320 Mach-wise is probably, what, 0.79? Let's see. Oh, 0.76. Well, we haven't quite gotten to 320 yet, but let's see if can't take it up much more than that. We start getting into the barber pole. Can't quite fly quite as fast at this altitude as you could at 45,000. But it's such a short flight that I didn't want to climb that high, only to have to then immediately begin descending. I mean, we're only 140 nautical miles from our destination as it is.
Jacksonville Center, United 1621 is passing flight level 350, descending 10,000 feet.
Beautiful down there.
621 Jacksonville Center, continuous plan. Jacksonville Center, American 2090 is at flight level 380, descending 10,000 feet. Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey, contact Jacksonville Center on 125.905.
2595, so that's the Whiskey.
American 2090 Jacksonville Center, continuous plan. decimal 905 Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey.
Jacksonville Center, it's 3 Bravo
Jacksonville
Whiskey
Center,
at
Cessna
250.
November 343 Bravo Whiskey flight level 250.
Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey, Jacksonville Center, continuous plan.
35 miles on the...
Destination ATIS is 123.75.
Getting our destination ATIS information, that's good. ForeFlight gives you your ATIS, Automated Terminal Information System, information as you get closer, or frequency as you get closer to your destination.
Jacksonville Center, Delta 633 is at flight level 370.
It's generally a sign that you're about 25 minutes out in this aircraft.
Jacksonville Center on 133.7.
Man, they're handing me an awful lot. 33.7, 3 Bravo Whiskey, good day.
Jacksonville Center, continuous
Just getting passed around here.
Going to 133.7 Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey. Jacksonville Center, Cessna November 343 Bravo Whiskey flight level 250.
Just passed over Valdosta.
43 Bravo Whiskey, Jacksonville Center, continuous plan.
I think Valdosta's in Georgia, I'm almost positive. Only one way to know. The internet. Oh, it's going to rain tomorrow in Savannah. Updated METAR in Savannah confirms variable winds, 5 miles an hour, visibility 10 miles or more, ceilings 12,000, yeah, cloudless. Few clouds at 25,000.
Center, Delta 633 is passing flight level 370, descending 10,000 feet.
Still not seeing any clouds though.
United
Valdosta
Contact Jacksonville Center on 125.
is in Georgia, yes.
Good day. Delta 633 Jacksonville.
Man, there's a lot of planes up in the air today.
Going to 125.905 United 12907.
Never want to forget to get a screenshot, right? Don't know if I'll use it. I always take a few screenshots, and then when I post it to YouTube, I decide which one I want.
3 Bravo Whiskey Contact Jacksonville Center on 132.3.
Another handoff. 32.3, 3 Whiskey.
Going to 132.3 Cessna 3 Bravo Whiskey. Jacksonville Center, Cessna November 343 Bravo
Oh,
Whiskey
that's right.
flight level 250.
All right, so we should expect to begin our descent, if we don't crash the desktop, about 83 miles out. We're 109 miles out now, so should expect to hear a descent instruction soon. Just skirting the envelope right there. Don't want to go any faster than that. We'll get an overspeed warning. Do have a 38 knot tailwind. That's nice. Headed to Sovi right now. That's our first waypoint. I'm sorry, Tilly is our first waypoint, and then Sovi. Interesting that the sim thinks we're going to Sovi. Tilly's our next waypoint, not Sovi. Listen, I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Just don't crash the desktop. It's all I ask. It's all I ask. I'll tell you, when this thing works, I mean, I just love it. I know it's not for everybody, but this game just takes me to a different place, you know, like a whole fantasy existence. Imagining somebody sitting back there in the cabin looking out the window while I fly us around.
Generic 1 Whiskey Bravo, you are 23 miles northeast.
Hey, another Whiskey Bravo.
Maintain 10,000 feet, expect vectors ILS runway 4.
Although I'm Bravo Whiskey, but still. Should get our descent instructions here pretty soon.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, expect vectors ILS runway 4, approach generic 1 Whiskey Bravo. Generic 1 Whiskey Bravo,
1 Whiskey Bravo is another simmer. Come on, 91 miles out. I should get my descent instructions any second.
Going to 127.575, generic 1 Whiskey Bravo. Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey, descend and maintain
Bingo.
13,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 13,000, says 3 Whiskey.
Descend and maintain 13,000 feet, Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
Pretty much on schedule. About 5 miles early, that's okay. Okay, we've set 13,000 on the altitude selector, and we'll set VS descending at 2,000 feet per minute. And we'll switch out of Mach mode and slow before we get an overspeed warning. Slow down to 310.
Delta 1534 traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 370, Airbus A20M. Report them in sight.
Show you, get a better view on what we just did there. We use the altitude selector here to reduce our altitude selected to 13,000 feet. Then we use the VS knob here to select our descent rate at minus 2,000 feet per minute. I'm flying GPS right now, autopilot. We're now descending below 23.5 for 13,000. And there's our knots indicated. We have a 33 knot tailwind. Approach course, let's go ahead and enter that. Approach course for this runway is 097, so we'll go over here to heading. We're not flying in heading mode, so we can...
Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey, you are 76 miles southwest. Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 approach via Tylee transition. Cleared to Tylee.
Okay, we'll descend to 3,000, and we'll expect Tylee.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect
3 Whiskey. So I use the HDG knob to change the HDG setting to the approach course.
3 miles southwest of Savannah. Contact Savannah Tower on 119.11 inbound.
Already got a tower handoff. 70 miles out?
Expect ILS runway 10
What the hell?
By Tylee transition, cleared to Tylee Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey. Tower on 119.1 Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
Second time this has happened.
Savannah Tower Cessna November Tree 4 Tree Bravo Whiskey 70 miles southwest inbound ILS runway 10 approach.
Okay, so
November Tree, 4 Tree Bravo.
don't clear me to land.
Altimeter 29.84, wind 156 at 7.
So much for winds calm.
Runway 10 approach.
Cleared for the approach. 3 Whiskey.
Cleared ILS runway 10 approach Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey.
We're 68 miles out. We'll increase our descent rate to 2,200 feet per minute, and we'll slow to 300. Anyway, weird to be handed off to the tower this far out. But runway length is 9,351 feet. Airport elevation is 50 feet. Approach course 097, as I said. Winds, they're reporting winds, not crazy winds, but METAR's reporting winds light and variable. And we're getting winds from the tower on the airfield from, what did she say, 157 at 7? Anyway, 157 at 7, that's, you know, southeast. We're landing to the east. That's okay. Best of all, we're landing on an ILS, which is what I love. 60 miles out, 62 miles out, 18,800 feet. Well, we're going to increase our descent rate yet again and slow yet again. 290. She's giving me altimeter information. I'm still above 18,000. That's kind of weird. As soon as we get below 18,000, we'll enter, what'd she say, 2984, I assume. I think that's what she said. Transition altitude. Okay, you ready? Let's see. No, it's holding steady at 29902. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. 58 miles, 17,400 feet. Boogieing, man. Still doing 400 knots across. There it is.
Nearest altimeter, 2985.
There it is, 2985. Beautiful. Doing 396 knots across the ground right now. 23 knot tailwind. So we'll start slowing a little bit more. We're just going to fly right past the airport. 280. Control the auto throttle speed settings with this. That's reflected right here. Change your selected speed. As long as we don't get a crash to desktop, I remain a happy camper. Let's zoom in on the MFD, down to 20 for now. That's reflected right there, 20 NM, 20 nautical miles, you see. You can zoom in either with this or this. I'll leave it at 15. We're probably about 11 minutes out. Slow to 275. Airspeed is now correctly reflected at 275. It's descending to 3,000. The next descent instruction after that, I imagine, will be 2,600 or 2,000, depending. I'm looking at the published approach plate. It's pretty skimpy. There are only two waypoints on the final. Let's go ahead and switch our nav 2, or bearing 2 over to nav 1 and see if we've got any ILS data yet. No, but I wouldn't expect 245 miles out. .44 miles. We'll slow now to 265 as we pass below 12,000 feet now. I want to be at 250 at 10. So 260 now. It's looking pretty snappy so far, though. I have been to Georgia, but only for like a stop on my way back from Germany. Slow to 250 now. Just landed at Hartsfield-Jackson. Gigantic airport, by the way. Hey, airspeed slowing now. Almost to 250 as we get ready to pass below 10,000. We can shallow out our descent right now to 1,800 feet per minute. 39 miles out, we're at 10,000 feet. That's fine. Looks good down there. Trees look good. Slow to 240. Shallow out even more, 1,600 feet per minute. Come on, Sparky. This thing's so fast. It's so light. I mean, I don't have any real cargo, 200 pounds of luggage and one passenger. Plus yours truly. Shallow out. Again, 1,200 feet per minute. And slow. 225.
In River Flight 183, follow the aircraft tone final. Wind calm clear to land runway 10.
Huh, so somebody's landing. Two people are landing.
Clear to land runway 10 in River Flight 183.
Sounds like the same person is in the tower that's in the aircraft. Shallow out even more. We're going to go to 700 feet per minute. Nice and conservative. Set our speed at 215. Still no ILS data. Not entirely unexpected at 29 miles out. Slow to 210. Nice steady deceleration. A lot of trees to render out there, yowzers. We get to 20 miles out, we want to be about 6,000 feet. Slow down even more. 200 knots. Keep 200 knots as we close in on our 20-mile distance. It's all going swimmingly so far. And look! Check it out. Look what we're getting now. Nav 1 is set on bearing 2, and that's the ILS identifier for Savannah. ISAV. India, Sierra, Alpha, Victor. And this little arrow right here is pointing in the direction of that ILS transmitter. Well, that's a good sign. But I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. We'll make a right turn at Tilly, Tilly, whatever, and then that's it. A 12-mile final. Pretty standard. Set that in descent rate at 800 feet per minute. Nice and pleasant for the passenger.
Savannah Tower Cessna, Tree Bravo.
Cancel IFR.
Cancel IFR at this time.
Oh, shit. Why is it doing this?
Tree Bravo Whiskey IFR flight plan is canceled. Maintain VFR. Make straight in runway.
All right, so
Altimeter 29
I don't know why it's all
93.
psychoggling when it comes to this. But check it out.
Tree Bravo Whiskey, follow the aircraft on final.
I haven't gotten landing clearance.
Touch and go left. Traffic
Touch and
runway
go?
10.
Anyway, you see this white diamond right here?
Clear touch and go runway 10.
That shows that our altitude is perfectly spot on. Now, let's clean up this. I don't want to touch and go, darling. I want to land. Cancel landing intentions.
Savannah Tower Cessna, Tree Bravo Whiskey, cancel landing intention.
Cessna Tree Bravo Whiskey, your cancellation is received.
All right. Request full... Oh, boy. It's acting up. We're going to have to land without clearance. Where's my nearest airport option? For God's sakes. All right. 18 miles out, we'll slow to 180 now. 190 first. Come on, give me nearest airport option. All right, well, we're going to have to land without clearance. Stupid. So stupid. All right, let's set 180 now. 17 miles out.
Landing gear.
I'm not ready for landing gear yet there, coachies. Let's increase our descent rate slightly to recapture that ILS glide slope. This unnecessary distraction. The goofy ATC
Landing gear.
stuff.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing
Let's go
gear.
ahead and use our
Landing
speed
gear.
brakes.
Landing gear.
Get us down to our 175. There we go. I hate landing without clearance. I really do. 170. I just cannot get this thing to slow down. I swear to God. I got 170 set and it's at 186. Okay, we're going to disconnect the auto throttle because that's annoying. And we're going to bring our speed brakes back. We're going to switch. That's already switched over to nav. And we're going to switch our nav source to nav 1. And then we're going to switch to APPR. And we instantaneously grab the glide slope. That's beautiful. Okay, bring those speed brakes in. Re-engage the auto throttle. Set 170. Let's go do a notch of flaps. And we'll do another notch of flaps once we set 160. Just 12 miles out now, so there's the runway right there. Okay, we'll do another notch of flaps now. How about that side? Very good. Now we'll go
Landing gear.
outside.
Landing
Why
gear.
is it? Oh, it wants landing
Landing
gear because I
gear.
got 2 notches of flaps. That's why.
Landing gear.
There we go.
Landing gear.
Good. Okay, we're on final. An unauthorized final, granted, but final nonetheless. Back inside. We'll set our approach speed. I always forget this. 144 today. We're on the glide slope, perfectly established, stable. And we'll set 144 on our airspeed. Go full flaps. Fantastic. Your speed's good. Landing lights on. Plane depressurized. Pressurized before landing. Looking really good in terms of this. Perfect. Airspeed's 144. Green diamond. Glide slope. Captured. We're on it. Lined up. Approach course is consistent with our heading. Looking good. Zoom in on the MFD. Down to 2. I don't know if I exit left or right when we land, so be ready for anything, which I try to generally be. Okay. 7.3 miles out. 2 minutes, 49 seconds. Do a little sightseeing here while we're hopefully not about to crash. There's the OMI, the outer marker indicator. Looks really, really cool. Farms and shit. God, I love it. As long as it doesn't crash the desktop, I love it. Otherwise, I don't love it. Still perfectly on the glide slope. Airspeed still perfect. Full flaps. Lights on. Green diamond still dead center. 1,300 feet AGL. Lined up on our CDI. Outside air temperature 17 degrees. Wind slight, tiny little tailwind. 1 knot. No big deal. Not going to be an issue. Go ahead and disconnect the auto throttle at this point. Airspeed's good.
2 mile final runway.
Shadow of the airplane right down there. See it? That looks sweet. Look at that. Passing right. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, my goodness gracious. 2 mile final. Like a mall or something. Check that out. Awesome. Little housing development. Okay. Wait for the 500 and then
500.
there it is.
500.
Autopilot. I have the airplane. No wind data. Winds are calm on the airfield. I don't know if you can make out the shadow of the airplane. It's pretty cool though. Gears down, reconfirmed. Heading course correct. 09 or 8. Got white and red. Middle marker indicator. Still white and red. Perfect. Runway 10 confirmed. Flare. Oh man, that was butter. Spoilers are up, reversers on. Dude, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want to brag. I've had my fair share of shitty landings, but that was butter. 65 knots. Now, we were landed without permission, so I don't think we're going to get any help from ATC. Let's see, left or right? What do you say, gang? Let's go right. I don't know. I'm guessing. At least I see an airplane over on the right. Well, other than the ATC goofiness, that was about as good as it gets in terms of uneventful. And a pretty butter landing, I do have to say. And I again, not as a braggart, because I've had my fair share of bad ones, but that was slick. All right, let's see if we can at least get ground. Tune Savannah ground. Taxi to parking. Oh, good. They're not sending the police to arrest me. Spoilers in. Or down. Flaps. Retracted.
Taxiing to General Aviation parking via taxiway Echo Cross
Lights.
Runway 1 Golf Cessna Tree
Landing
Bravo
lights
Whiskey.
off. Taxi lights on. Pulse lights off. And timer stopped. 37 minutes. Not bad. Okay, let's go outside as we begin our taxi to our parking spot. And it looks like turning right was the correct idea. Well, this was great. Other than that ATC nonsense, my expectation was when I said cancel landing intentions that I would be able to then request a full stop landing instead of a touch and go. Wyatt came under the impression, or was under the impression, that I wanted a full stop landing is anybody's guess. I mean, Wyatt thought I wanted a touch and go is anybody's guess. I had no such intention. Oh, I was wrong. It wasn't. No, it was. Yeah, turning right was the correct. I just have to cross runway 19er 01 to get to my parking space. I want to take this right turn too sharp. This is not a sports car.
Approaching runway 01, 19.
Nobody's coming.
Enter runway 01, 19.
Yeah, left turn. Toe brake, toe brake, toe brake, toe brake, toe brake. Come on. Come on, honey. There you go, baby. Good girl. Don't want to go on the grass, do we, babe? At least not in this airplane. Well, I just love this game. Little quirky things here and there are not going to keep me from enjoying it. This was extremely pleasant. Whenever I'm feeling bummed out or down about something, or stressed about something, or worried about something, this is a game that just, for me anyway, takes me to another place. It's fantastical in a certain sense, but it also is technically demanding and requires your concentration. Somebody on the boards complimented me the other day. I thought it was very gracious. Said something about how he admired my ability to multitask. That was nice of him. Okay, anyway, here's our space. There you go. Somebody just took off, by the way. That was cool. Okay. Right engine. Parking brake. Taxi light off. Oh, I never turned on pitot-static. Whew. God, that's a bad habit. At least we didn't need it on this flight. Beautiful, huh? Welcome to Savannah, Georgia, as we continue our 50-state tour. Go back inside. Somebody else confirmed on the boards that they were being robbed of their landing credit as well. Let's go ahead and turn off our remaining lights. And kill that left engine. Drop to a logbook screen. Yeah, somebody else said, yeah, I'm also not getting landing credit. There it is. Still not getting the landing credit. Although interesting, it went from 47 to 48. Despite not awarding me credit for it. Anyway, KTLH, Tallahassee to Savannah, 34 minutes, 35 seconds on this fantastic full flight video. Fantastic for me anyway. I hope you have a great day. Take care.